O jogo já vendeu milhões de cópias, virou livro, tá para virar filme. Será que vocês sabem do que eu estou falando? O principal roteirista do Assassin's Creed, Corey May, está aqui no Brasil na Bienal do Livro e a gente vai bater um papo com ele. I'd like to know what kind of books and movies and what do you consider a direct influence on your work today?
It's really hard for me to say. I think it's a little bit of everything I've always consumed. For me, a big influence was a lot of games that I played. So there's a series called Ultima. Richard Garriott, who created that franchise, built an entire fictional universe, and it was about more than just the battle between good and evil. You can watch as the series evolves over time into something far more complex and nuanced, and that was a major, major inspiration for me. I would say probably one of the biggest inspirations for me. And then the second one, at least for Assassin's Creed, is a book called Worlds in Collision by a man named Emanuel Velikovsky. I don't want to say it's nonfiction, but he believed it was nonfiction, and it presented a lot of alternatives to sort of Earth's past, and he took a very historical approach when he looked at things like religious texts from different cultures, trying to imagine what kind of actual scientifically backed events could have resulted in things that people attributed to gods and mythological creatures. So I love this idea of looking for more natural or scientific explanations for the supernatural. So those two things I think are really big influences for me.
How do you do historical research for writing?
So it begins usually very early in production with just reading a lot of books, talking to as many historians and historical researchers as possible, just gathering as much stuff up. I really like what we call primary sources, which aren't history books, that are more first-hand accounts from the time period, so letters or diaries, journal entries, or even just like proclamations that were posted, or history from back then, stuff that was recorded down at the time. So the closer to actual events, the better. And so that's sort of stage one. It's just immersing myself in the time period and the language and the culture, trying to get to know it. I'm not a historian. I don't pretend that in a couple of months of research I can ever be an expert. And so Ubisoft has been kind enough to allow me to work with actual historians and real experts, so I can bounce ideas off of them. I can ask them questions. I send them script pages. We go back and forth. We talk about, what I've written versus what actually happened, and we try and find ways to bring the two into closer alignment. So it's a long process that goes on throughout production. I do some research by myself, and then I try and seek out and speak with actual experts, because they're going to know the time a lot better than I'm ever going to.
How do you feel knowing that a lot of boys start studying the story because your games, it's like Assassin's Creed? What do you think?
That's like it's a lot of pressure. I think it's awesome if we can inspire and excite people to either learn about history or just be creative and start writing in general, or to get excited about storytelling or about consuming stories, whether it's playing games or watching movies and TV or reading books. It's really exciting to see how many people are out there and excited about reading. I still read all the time.
What was your favorite area study?
My favorite? I, in college, took a class on Eastern European science fiction. Very, very specific, but I love sci-fi, and then to get a chance to read about the science fiction that was being created in the USSR and in Eastern Europe as far back as the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. That's my favorite. It's really, really amazing stuff. I love all older science fiction. Really, really like it.
Do you think Ubisoft has a lot of influence between what you create and what you have to do to the game for being commercial?
What's amazing about Ubisoft is that part of their philosophy is to let creators create, And their belief is that if the work we do is good and sincere, that people will respond to it. So there's no interference like that. There's no cold marketing angle. We work with marketing to try and sell the stories that we create, but Ubisoft is an incredible environment when it comes to encouraging sort of creative independence. They really let us do what we want to do and what we believe in, and their belief is that if we believe, there are discussions, right? There will be conversations. They'll want to know why we've made the decisions that we've made, but that's it. They just want explanations and answers. They never force anything on us, and it's wonderful. It shows a real mutual respect between both the people that manage and run the company and the people that are building and creating the games.
You always talk about past in Assassin's Creed games, and I imagine that maybe someday can be something futuristic.
I can't say anything because it would be spoilers. If the setting is right, if the themes are right, if we can, if the characters present themselves, sure, you never know. I mean, whether is something planned right now? No. Like all I know about the future is that in October we're releasing Black Flag, which is incredible, and everyone should pre-order it as soon as possible. But as far as what comes after that, you never know. If there's the right story to tell and the right characters to meet, then who knows? Who knows? But I can't, maybe. I can neither confirm nor deny. Well, we have to wait and see. We all have to wait and see.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I'll have to buy that, do that. Thank you very much.